Today we will tell the story of the children and hard work of Jacob, which is found in the book of Genesis, chapters 29 to 31. May the word of God reach our hearts as a source of inspiration for our lives. Beneath the vast skies of Padan Aram, Jacob devoted 14 years of his life to the service of his astute uncle Laban in pursuit of the love burning within his heart. 14 seasons of sun and moon, a journey intertwined with promises of love and the whims of destiny. Jacob's heart was a chessboard where the pieces of love danced in a complex game. Rachel, with her eyes like shooting stars, was the desired queen, while Leah, the eldest, lingered in the shadow of preference. A dance of feelings where Jacob's love leaned like a flower towards Rachel. The Lord's eyes, attentive to human dramas, did not escape the complicated dynamics of Jacob's heart. He saw the sadness in Leah's eyes, the absence of affection that hung over her like a cold shadow. Then, in a divine act, he closed Rachel's womb, depriving her of the joy of motherhood. Leah, in turn, gave birth to 4 sons, each birth a dewdrop in the garden of her soul. But the shadow of jealousy loomed over Rachel like an impending storm. Her heart, boiling with desire for offspring that had not yet sprouted, burst into a desperate cry to Jacob, "Give me a child or I will die." Jacob, a finite man before the divine immensity, responded with humility, "I am not God. It was not I who made you barren." However, Rachel's love, like a river seeking new paths, would not accept barriers. Thus Rachel, in a gesture of desperation and determination, offered Jacob her servant, a decision that would change the course of the narrative. "Lie with my servant," she said, "and let her bring forth children in my place." Jacob, in his devotion, agreed, and the wheels of destiny began to turn. The servant became the echo of Rachel's unrealized desire, a source of life that brought children into the world. In a moment, Leah found herself unable to give birth, a painful void that echoed in her soul like an anguished silence. In her quest for offspring that escaped her grasp, she made a bold decision. She offered Jacob her servant, a woman whose days were intertwined with the destinies of those around her. Thus, in an intricate weaving of stories, 3 women shared the journey alongside Jacob. The patriarch, now surrounded by triple motherhood, saw his family expand like a flourishing garden. 10 sons like rays of light at dawn, and a daughter, a precious pearl among the branches of the family tree. As Leah explored new paths to motherhood, the stars of luck began to shine upon Rachel. God, in his unfathomable grace, allowed her to give birth to a son, a ray of hope that brightened the days darkened by infertility. Joseph, Jacob's 11th son, came into the world as a fulfilled promise, a treasure born of patience. At the peak of this moment of family growth, Jacob, guided by a longing for the distant home, turned to Laban. His words were like a sigh laden with longing and desires. "I want to return to my land. Grant me the freedom to take my wives and children with me." Laban, with a lament in his voice, tried to hold Jacob back. "Oh, Jacob, be kind to me. I have realized that the Lord has blessed me because of you. I will pay you whatever you want." Jacob, a man of principles, refused the material reward. Instead, he proposed a deal that would strengthen his foundations. "You don't need to reward me. Let me build my wealth by keeping a part of the flock." At the crossroads of destinies, Jacob and Laban, bound by blood ties and intricate agreements, forged a pact that wove the threads of destiny and greed. Jacob, with cunning in his eyes, proposed a peculiar arrangement. "I will tend to your flocks, but I will claim for myself all the goats and sheep that are speckled, spotted, or striped. The rest will be yours, so you can check if I am stealing from you. Just look if my flocks have the right marks." Laban, with a nod of agreement, sealed this agreement, and the flocks were separated according to these distinct marks. Under the vast sky, the dance of the speckled animals began, a choreography that would be the symphony of a dispute that would shape the destiny of both. Jacob, as astute as a strategist on the battlefield, uncovered a secret that permeated nature itself. he found a method to ensure that speckled, spotted, and striped lambs were born in his domain. Thus, subtly, he ensured that the best and most robust of the flock were his, while the more fragile ones rested under Laban's aegis. However, greed weaves its own intricate web. Laban, in his frustration before Jacob's cunning, changed the agreement countless times in a desperate attempt to gain advantage. Each turn of the tide of negotiations was a tense chapter in this rural drama where conflicting interests collided like furious waves. But despite the twists and turns, Jacob, like a tree that grows strong amidst the storm, thrived. Wealth, a reward for years of skill and perseverance, accumulated at his feet. One day, hidden in the shadow of attentive ears, he captured the whispered words among his brothers-in-law, like a spy among the shadows. "Jacob built his fortune at the expense of what truly belongs to our father," they murmured in a chorus of suspicion. The winds of intrigue blew across the field, and Jacob, with keen eyes, realized that even Laban, the man whose lands and herds had shaped his life, was beginning to change. The shadow of betrayal loomed like heavy clouds on the horizon. It was then that, like a voice from the heavens, the Lord spoke to Jacob. A call that resonated in the fibers of his soul, a divine revelation that beckoned to an unknown path. "Return to the land I gave to your fathers, and I will be with you," said the Lord, his words like a guiding light in the darkness of uncertainty. And so the foundations of the narrative rearranged themselves, like pieces being moved on a cosmic chessboard. The voice of the Lord echoed like an ancestral song, a melody that urged Jacob to look beyond the known horizon. The call to return to the land of his ancestors became the prologue to a new chapter, where loyalty, deception, and divine promise intertwined like golden threads in an unfathomable weave. With divine blessing hovering over him like a shield, Jacob, the herdsman strategist and son of promises, was ready to embark on a journey that would echo through the ages. The novel of his life unfolded with the promise of a return to the ancestral land, where destinies were written in sparkling stars and the pages of the future still awaited to be turned. This is the second part of a 5-part series, where we will tell the biblical story of Jacob and his family. Stay with us so you don't miss the next chapters of this story that is so important to all of us. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, click the subscription button and join our community. Don't forget to comment, leave a like, and click the notification bell. Your presence and participation here are very important to us. And if you missed the previous episodes, we have a complete playlist with all the videos in chronological order. Today I want to leave you with a verse from the book of Genesis, chapter 30, verses 29 and 30. Jacob answered him, "You know how hard I have worked for you and how your livestock has fared under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household?" May God's presence be a constant in your life, bringing blessings, joy, and love. God bless you.